Success lives in powerful bodies. And the powerful bodies are fueled by the best.
3og.shop.
How many sets? How many reps?
I'm generally like a 3x12 kind of girl.
3x12. Yeah, you're the first three. You're the first one that, because I'm usually a 3x10, 3x12 kind of guy.
Yeah,
so.
10 to 12. I had a bilateral decompression of the anterior shin. Oh man!
When
like
did you know? Did you know, or you didn't know, or you go, I got it.
I think I entered that show with a lot of confidence in myself and the package that I was bringing. Again, that word undeniable. Front delts, I'd go a front raise. Yeah.
Front raises? That's a bit old school, the front raises. Old school.
I love a single arm dumbbell front raise. I basically froze my eggs at the start of last year, so 2022.
She's a pro figure model, now a WBFF Australian Pro Champion, about to embark this August to the WBFF Worlds in Vegas. She wants all her ladies to be happy, and she tells them all they're beautiful. She's radiant, happy, fun, and a smile and eyes to hoot. Online health coach, acts at times like she's from the ghetto, big swagger, dripping attitude, and I think the life of the party and the show, life of the party and the show. Please help me welcome Caitlyn McGuinness. How are you?
Thank you for having me, guys. I'm good. How are you?
How was that intro? Was that a good intro?
That
you?
That was epic. That's the best intro I've ever had.
I know. Well, I should come to the shows and introduce everybody individually.
Absolutely.
Properly.
MC. Yes, definitely.
I should MC. How you been? How's your day been? You got your hair done today, is that right?
I did get my hair done today. Yes, we've had a little bit of a hectic day. So we actually leave for LA on Sunday, and it's there's a lot to do, that's for sure. We still have not started packing yet, but I'm sure we'll get it sorted. It's just been a bit of a crazy run around.
When you say we, what does we mean? Like, who is it? Who's your entourage?
I'm going with my best friend Imogen Harris. Imogen is doing the bikini amateur show over at Worlds. We're both going together on Sunday to LA. We stay in LA for I think 8 days, and then Tuesday of peak week for the show we drive down to Vegas, and then we're in Vegas until the following Monday. So it's it's going to be fun.
Did you know prior to the Sydney show you were going to Vegas? Did you know that firstly?
I did, 100%. I was always going to go to Worlds, whether I was doing the amateur show or the pro show. I was going to hit it either way, but obviously, fully had confidence and was manifesting the fact that we would be doing our first pro debut. So here we are.
Wow. And is it the setup to get to this flight on the weekend? Is it what you're imagining, or is it hectic and worse? Like, oh my God, are we going to be ready?
No, I'm feeling very comfortable and confident in my physique, which is, I think, making everything else a lot easier. It's more so just the organization, making sure that we have everything that we need. Worlds itself for WBFF is like a whole nother level. So everything is very, very glitz and glam. You know, we've got gowns upon gowns that we need to be taking. So it's more so just trying to make sure that we're organized, that we've got everything sorted. Obviously, being over there, it's going to be harder for us to source things. So we wanted to make sure, we had everything that we possibly could to take over there. So,
have you done an overseas show before?
And no, this is my first international. So my goals this year were to get my WBFF Pro card and to do an international show, and we are ticking the boxes. So
I suppose it's the daunting part is that because you know everything, all the creature comforts around Australia, you're going to a place where you know nothing, and that's why
absolutely
you've got to know. You've actually got to know even to the smallest bracelet you want to wear. Everything is kind of got to be
That's it.
check order. So do you have a list? Do you have a list?
We
of
have
everything?
an extensive list. Yes. Yeah.
God, you girls have extensive lists just to go out on a
crazy.
Saturday night. let alone a-
Literally,
I know. Oh
exactly.
my
So
God, I
imagine
can imagine.
going overseas.
I know. Well, let me start with a recent reel you posted. It said,
Yep.
some mornings you wake up cute and some mornings you don't. Either way,
Yeah.
routine remains the same. Is that life in general?
Absolutely.
And any tips for us out there?
So I actually got asked this question, like, how do I stay on track? And I get asked it pretty frequently. And I think for me in a prep, I become, I don't want to say robotic, but my goal is literally everything to me. So I think if you have a why that means enough to you, then the actions and the routine, that just becomes second nature. So yeah, for me, it's, everything aligns with where I want to go. And that reflects in all of my actions every day.
So obviously, I guess it's not one of my questions yet. Do you have rituals and habits in the morning? Like you,
Absolutely.
what are they?
Yeah. So my morning is very routine. So I get up in the morning, I weigh
What time
myself.
do you get up? What time do you get up?
So my alarm goes off at 6 and I'm out of bed by 6:15.
Okay. A few snoozes,
Weigh
eh?
myself.
One
I
snooze.
go.
One snooze.
Yeah, one snooze. I
That's
go
all right.
downstairs. And I will make my caffeine in the morning. First thing, I'll make my greens. I will take my
What's your
supplements.
caffeine? What's your caffeine? What do you drink?
So I have been drinking BPM Labs Annihilate for God knows how long. It is technically a fat burner, but we all know the background on that. So that's not the reason why I take it. It does have 250 milligrams of caffeine in it. And I don't drink coffee, which, look, sometimes that's a deal breaker for some people.
Jesus
But
Christ.
yeah, that's
I've
my
got a coffee
caffeine
company.
for the
We
morning.
already, our conversation stops. Yeah, okay. So you go downstairs, do that, yeah?
Yep. And then it sounds funny, but I empty the dishwasher. I clean the kitchen, make sure it's good and ready to go. I make my first meal and I put it in the fridge. And then when I'm on prep, I'll go upstairs and I'll answer all my messages to my clients while I'm on the treadmill, start my steps. And then basically the day begins. So we tend to go to the gym roughly around 8:30, 9 o'clock each morning. And then, yeah, after that, it's just work, it's cardio, it's whatever else needs to get done for the day.
Okay. Yeah, I have some rituals and habits. I've probably repeated it enough times. So I think I'll try not to repeat my rituals and habits and what I think about in the shower. Is that right, Chris? I'll try not to think.
Yes,
I seem to always tell people what I'm thinking about in the shower. Yeah, you have another post. I'm trying to remember what my question is.
Yeah,
You've got it with recent. It says, "Look how little we were." It was the three of you. You're wearing yellow and black bikinis.
Yeah.
And you posted only a few days ago. What does that mean to you, looking back?
Wow, that was my first ever competition in 2016.
Wow, cool.
I was a bikini
How old
girl.
were you? How old?
I was, 26. So I'm 34 now.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
I don't
mean,
act
of course.
it.
Well, that's why I thought you seem younger because you don't act it. Yeah, that's true.
I don't
No,
act
you
it.
don't look.
Funny,
you don't look that age.
my
But
best friend
Yep.
is 24, so she's 10 years younger than me, and she's a wise soul, and I am very much a child most of the time.
All I see is you popping champagne at the moment, but that's another story.
Yeah.
I've got a question here about that. Yeah, so what does that mean? You were 26 at the time, first ever show. Go on. How'd you go?
Show. I won my bikini competition, so that was kind of, I guess, the start of it all. Really, it that show in itself, it definitely kind of ignited the fire, I suppose. I didn't compete for 3 years after that. I actually had a pretty bad relationship with food still, and I think the reason why I did that show was not, I guess it's where most people start, but it wasn't deep enough for me to actually think that I could do it again. I'm also a very competitive person, if you hadn't noticed, and I think at the time I was like, I'm just going to finish on a high because I won the show.
Look, let's be clear here. I'm just going to let you know I'm a sore loser. All right, tell
Yeah, I'm
everyone that.
bad.
I don't
Oh,
care. I'm happy if you let me just kick a few bins when we've lost the
yep,
match. Just leave me alone,
absolutely.
because it's
Yeah.
not about, I just don't want to be happy I lost. Are you okay with
Yes.
that? You can all deal with it the way you want. I'm fucked off, and I'm going to be fucked off probably for the whole day.
Absolutely.
Just
Yeah.
let me go. So I
Just let me
get
have
that.
my moment. Yeah, I'm not a great loser, that's for
So
sure.
since you've opened it up a little bit, and I think, bodybuilding, health and fitness does have its, I don't know if I'm going to call it dark places, but even
Hmm.
myself, just to warm up a little bit. Uh, and Chris is going to put a composition together soon about when I was 23, 24.
Wow.
There's a photo of me pretty ripped,
Hmm.
right? Muscular. And there's a photo of, no, I think, sorry, I'm 22. And there's a picture of me 52, but I'm bulked up and muscly. Don't look at me
Yep.
now. I'm 20 kilos too heavy. But the way I treated food, you could even get close to having an eating disorder. Like it was,
100%.
and so sometimes we don't even know we had one, but we had
Yep.
one because
Yep.
I was wiping gravy off food. I
Oh,
was
yeah.
not drinking alcohol. I wouldn't eat cake. I would, like, it was just this
It's a lot.
machine.
Yeah.
And
You
then
get to,
you look at yourself 10,000 times in the mirror. And someone told me,
yeah.
when you look a second time, you're only looking for imperfections. So I just look once. I
Aha, I
say
love
I'm unreal.
that.
It's true, Someone said, I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
When you look in the mirror and you look at yourself and you go, I look good,
Yep.
don't go back. When you go back, you're
Yeah.
actually looking for the flaws. You're not looking for better. You're looking for flaws.
That's
So
so
I don't go
interesting.
back. So
Hey.
when I even today, when I got dressed, I went, it looks all
Yep.
right.
That's
I
good.
walked away from
We're
the mirror,
good.
don't go back. Because when I go back, that's when I go, oh, these jeans, I look big in them. That's
Yep.
when you start and you're analyzing.
Yeah.
So even my daughter Ruby, when she's putting makeup on and she's puts the mirror back up, and I see her put the mirror back up on the review on the
Yep.
car, I actually push it back up. I said, you're just looking
Yeah.
for
Don't look
imperfections.
again. I
So
love that. That's
yeah,
actually so true.
it is.
Yeah.
You're just looking for imperfections. So tell me about this eating not good with food, let's call it, and
Yeah.
you weren't going to go back because you already weren't very good with food at the time. What does that
Yeah.
mean?
So I guess I came from being 20 kilos heavier at the time. So I'd
Mhm.
already kind of battled with my own weight loss journey, and I decided to do the competition in 2016 because a lot of my friends were doing it. And
Mhm.
at the time I was like, you know what, it'd be good to see like where I could get myself to.
Mhm.
But I, throughout that whole prep, was obviously quite on a quite rigid meal plan.
Mhm.
I actually went to Thailand probably 6 weeks out from that show, and I absolutely sent myself. Like, I was drinking, I was eating all the food. I was so uncommitted because I think I had this major fear of failure that I wasn't even telling people that I was doing the show. And it wasn't until probably 2 weeks out that I was like, all right, I'll make it known that I'm going to do this. So I always had a backup plan there. And I think, I was very all or nothing. And so then when the show ended, it was all out. I had, boxes of Maltesers for breakfast and all the things that I wasn't allowed to have. It was like food was literally going to disappear. So I had to eat everything and anything then and there. Now I'm in obviously a very, very different place. Actually, I see myself as an athlete, and the way that I treat my body and the relationship that I have with my food is so important to me. And I think also being a coach to lifestyle clients as well, I can see where we kind of go wrong in those respects, and I think there's so much importance to having balance in an off season from bodybuilding as well. But understanding as well, like, we are at such a sensitive point straight after that competition that it is really, really important that we make that a priority to reverse out of that really well, and to nourish ourselves still, and really make sure that we are grateful and thankful for our body for everything we've put it through up until that point, and really allow it to be able to, I guess, repair as well.
Well, Laurie, who with her boyfriend Liam, they were on podcast 4, episode 4, I think it was, wasn't it, Chris? Yeah. And she spoke about post-comp blues. And she was saying how when you're prepping for a comp, everything's so measured that you kind of know what you're doing. And then when you finish, you can do anything, and that's
Yeah,
when you don't know what you're doing because you can do anything.
absolutely.
So
I
she was
think you
talking about
have to
post
have a
comp blues.
plan. You
Yeah, you
have
have
to
to,
have a
don't you?
plan. You have to have a direction.
Hmm.
You have to understand what the next focus is, because if you
Mm,
go without that, it's
mm.
just so easy to fall. Like yeah.
It is. Tell me something, because you said you were 20 kilos heavier. I don't know. I was talking
Yeah.
to Jess, Jess from Newcastle. She said, she was talking about weight, and I said, it's funny, even though I am overweight right now, but when I was fit and slim and tight and whatever, still terrific though. I'm just letting you know I'm still terrific,
Of
but that's
course
another
you
story.
are.
But
Absolutely.
the thing was, I still sometimes feel like the fat kid. I don't know why. It just
Yeah.
seems to
Yeah.
linger in that head. Does that sometimes play on you, that 20 kilos heavier person?
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. I think a lot less now, but when I was first coming out of my weight loss journey, yeah, absolutely. I still wanted to hide. I still, you still have those major body dysmorphia moments where you think that you're back to that place. And
Mm, mm,
yeah,
mm,
it's hard when you've come from a place of being a lot bigger,
mm,
and people start to notice that you're getting fitter, or you're getting stronger, or
mm,
you almost don't want the attention because you're so used to wanting to just hide away, and you're so uncomfortable in your own body. And I
mm,
think
mm,
it's only really now that I really do embrace every phase that I'm in.
mm, mm,
And
mm,
it's probably because there's a lot more purpose behind it now. Like, I know if my scale weight is going up, it's for a reason. Everything that I do with my physique has a purpose.
mm,
I'm not just YOLOing it. I'm not just yo-yoing. I'm literally so driven on the end goal that I know exactly what each phase is for, and I can really be grateful for my body going through all of that, and try and love it anyway. So yeah, it's
You
it's
do,
it's been a very long journey.
well, it kind of goes with the question I'm going to ask next. When I look at your photos prior to comps,
Mm.
obviously, like all girls, a little bit fuller. You have
Yep.
cheeks, your cheek, because
Yep.
you seem like what's your background, by the way?
I'm Scottish. My
Scottish, yeah.
dad's Scottish. Yeah.
You just seem like you got a bit of South American in your look. I don't know what that is, but
Yeah, right.
yeah.
No.
So you got cheeks. So explain that person to this person right now. Cop mode, ripped. Because I know um, when I'm right at my peak, it's like I'm floating on air. It's like
Yeah,
my feet don't
absolutely.
touch the ground. So tell me, um, explain that person prior full of
Yeah.
cheeks, training, and explain the person today. What's the difference between the two of you? Just say.
I mean, I think I'm pretty similar in the way of my
Okay.
personality.
Yeah, good. Yeah, yeah. So
Like
you do. Yeah.
that still kind of stays pretty regular. I think
I
probably
saw that.
there's some confidence there, in choosing clothing that I'm wearing. I, in my fuller stages, probably wouldn't wear a crop just in general.
Mm.
Probably a lot more oversized t-shirts, that kind of stuff.
Mm,
So I
mm,
think
mm,
it's
mm,
probably more selections on what I show more
mm,
than
mm.
who I actually am. I think, I'm
I
pretty
can relate to
consistent
that.
with who I am, and what I give to other people.
Mm,
But yeah, probably more, how comfortable I am in my own skin versus what I show in clothing and
mm,
things like that.
mm,
Those kinds of
mm.
selections as well.
Yeah, no, I it's funny. I'm just thinking to myself, I don't mind a tight t-shirt, but right
Yeah,
now I hate tight t-shirts because my
absolutely.
love handles are like anybody can come along and come for a ride with me.
Yeah.
So let's not. And I'm just going to the next one. Explain sitting in the car. You've always got a wingman next to you. It must be your
I
best
do.
friend,
Yes, that's
and
Imo.
you've got attitude in check.
Yeah.
Music playing in the background, bit of sass. The swagger's going
Yeah.
heavy, and then you hit the pre-workout stuff. What the hell's going on there?
Yeah,
Explain how and why. Where did
man.
this come from? Everybody, even Chris has done it once. It's this
Yeah, dry
pre-workout
scoop.
hit. What's the
Yeah,
dry
yeah.
scoop? Talk,
A
because I
dry
mean,
scoop. So
you do it
basically,
so well though. You and your
you
friend are
scoop the
like
pre-workout dry.
smashing that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But then you
Yeah.
got the music going, and then you're
Yeah, look, it's a hype up, right? You've got to get
yeah.
hyped up. So,
Oh, you're
I
hyping
mean,
me up.
honestly,
Mm,
I don't know how it all started, but I ended up doing it in lockdown.
mm,
I just don't really love sculling pre-workout, to be honest. And
mm,
so I think there was one moment where I just decided to dry scoop it, and I'd filmed it, and I was dancing and singing and doing it all, and I just got a really good response from it, and so it's become a thing.
It is,
So
it
yeah,
is.
no, we do that every single time we go and train, and I feel like it kind of just helps to G people up a little bit and
Well,
know
yeah,
that,
it's kind of like a
it's
show. It's like, okay,
yeah,
here
literally.
comes the concerning looks. Here comes the music. Now she
Yeah,
scooped it. Now comes the sass. Oh my God, they're
yeah,
going nuts
we're
now.
here for
We're
it.
here.
Yeah,
We've entered the
yeah.
room. So
Exactly. So, I mean, it's all very strategic. We pick a song, we make sure that it's something that we're really like, vibing with at the time, and then we go for it.
can you
So,
imagine someone watching from the outside in, watching your car,
oh,
going, "What are these girls
honestly,
doing in the car park here?"
it's funny because I used to be so coy about it and be like, oh my God, is anyone walking around? Now I wave to people and I'm like, hey, what's up? Like, I just,
Uh,
it's me
that's
now. So
it
it's
is.
what
It
I
is.
do.
It is. All right. Tell us about you growing up. What did you want to aspire to be if you weren't thinking health and fitness, bodybuilding, let's say?
So
And
interesting.
when did health and fitness bodybuilding grab you?
Yeah. So, I mean, I went to Careers Day when I was 8 and I went as a photographer. That's what I originally wanted to do when I was a kid.
Oh, Chris, Caitlyn
Um,
wanted to be a photographer, by the way. Yeah,
yeah,
Chris is a creative
yeah.
person.
There's this a
That's about it,
slightly
though.
creative flair in me, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But honestly, I've had every single job under the sun. I can't even explain to you. I have been a real estate agent. I've been a
Oh,
beauty
real estate.
therapist.
Beauty therapist.
I've worked in gyms just behind the counter. I've done sales. I've done marketing.
That's basically
I've
real estate agents. Beauty
Yeah, I've
therapist.
done a
No,
lot of,
go, go.
I guess, like, I guess I've done a lot of stuff involving people. So
Yeah.
I've always kind of wanted to work with people.
Yeah.
I did a marketing degree at university. Didn't really want to, but my parents asked me to, and I did it. So I did business marketing at university. I went straight into digital marketing. I did sales and marketing. Yeah, I was actually the
Marketing.
director of sales and marketing for a startup digital marketing company in 2018.
Mhm.
And at that time I was looking to prep for another bodybuilding show, and my boss actually said
So
to
you're doing
me,
bodybuilding on the side, were you? With all this
yeah,
happening, were you? Yeah. With all that, I want to hear about the
yeah,
director bit. Were you training? Were you into bodybuilding then?
I was training, and I was definitely into my bodybuilding, but that was the 3-year gap that I had between my first ever show and then my next show. So I was, at uni and doing all that stuff. So I was probably pretty inconsistent when it came to my training, but that's always been something that I've loved to do. So it's always been my kind of outlet, I guess. So
So what were you
um,
before you were 26? Like school, finished school. What did you want to be? Or was it
I
photographer?
wanted to be, well, I did my real estate agent course
Oh,
straight
right. You
out
did.
of school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was working as a real estate agent. Then my parents asked me to go to uni. And that's when I transitioned into that. The funny story, well, it's not really funny, but this is kind of how it all happened with the health and fitness. So
Yeah, that's it.
I wanted to open my own dancing studio. So I used to be a dancer, and I
What kind of
worked in the
dancer were you?
dance. Originally I was doing all tap, jazz, and ballet, and then I moved into pole dancing actually for
Ah,
fitness. I was never a
that's
stripper.
right.
Uh,
No, it's okay. You want to know something
oh,
funny?
no judgment at all,
No.
but
All
I
right. Well,
just
you
couldn't
better
do
not judge me what I tell you
it.
now.
Absolutely not.
All right. Don't judge me what I tell. I've got a pole. I've got a pole studio at home.
Yes. Oh, no way.
I do.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you
Honestly,
how.
so
Yeah, I do.
good.
No, I don't do it though. I did. I tried it
Um,
once. No, my
yeah,
daughter. I do. You see my pole studio, haven't you? I've got a pole studio. It's
I love
got
that.
bright lights. It's got a
Yep.
disco ball. Got
Yes.
everything, and I even
Yes.
got the correct X pole, right millimeter that. But
Yes.
I got it as a surprise for my daughter
I
because
love that.
she's actually performing arts. She's a performing.
Yep.
She's a
Amazing.
triple threat. She sings, dances, and
Whoa.
acts. But she loves to go pole dancing too.
Yep.
Mind you,
Yep.
every time I go watching her do pole dancing, I wonder where should I be looking. I'm like,
Oh,
it's,
that's my dad. My dad with
like
bodybuilding.
it's
He
pretty good,
really
Ruby.
struggles with it.
I'm
Hey,
like, yeah,
yeah.
okay,
I
Ruby.
don't
I'm
know
like
what to
that. Well,
say.
not only her, with all the girls, and I'm
No,
thinking
I
like,
know.
That's great, everybody.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
wonderful.
this
I
is
like the way
good.
you got your legs over your shoulders. That's amazing. But having said that, but
Yeah.
so I've
So
got
yeah,
this.
I wanted to
Yeah, so I got a
open
pole
a pole
studio.
dancing
Yeah,
studio.
all right. You want
That's
to
so cool.
say just let you know,
Um,
me and my daughter are not strippers, but we got a pole
I
studio.
love it. I love it. I love it. So yeah, I
Yes.
started working at a pole dancing studio whilst I was at university.
Mhm.
I saw how it was run. I've always kind of been business minded, and I was like, I could do this better. So I basically went into finding a place for a pole studio. I had invested a fair bit of money, and I decided I wanted to do my Cert 3 and 4 in fitness so I could offer other classes in the pole studio as well. Anyway, long story short, pole studio fell through. Still had my Cert 3 and 4 to finish, and I needed to do work placement for that. So I went to a gym and I asked them if they would take me on for work placement. The guy who was the manager of the gym was an ex military dude. He was hard as fuck. Like, he scared me. He really scared me. At that point, I still was quite overweight as well. And he basically pulled me up one day and said, like, how do you expect anyone to trust you that you can transform their lives if you can't do it for yourself? And that was probably the biggest pivotal moment for me with my own health and fitness, where I went, you know what, you're
How old
actually
are you?
not
How
wrong.
old were you then? How old then?
I
You reckon?
was 23, I reckon.
23. Yeah. Okay.
23,
Go.
yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, that's kind of when it all started, and I started pulling my head in with my nutrition and trying to actually learn what that looked like, because prior to that, a healthy meal for me was the grilled fish at the fish and chip shop and the steamed dim sim instead of the fried. So like, I had no
Still
idea.
is. It kind of still
I
is.
mean, amazing, but not helping
Not when
me
you
at that
not when
time.
not
Not
every
helping
day.
me.
Not every day. Not
No,
every day.
nah. So I was eating family blocks of chocolate, like, yeah. Anyway, turned that around, got myself out of a bit of a relationship that was not serving me at the time. And yeah, basically lost the weight and then rolled into the first show of competing and doing that because I kind of wanted to challenge myself and see where I could get to. And then, yeah, didn't compete for 3 years, did all the jobs, got through uni. And then, as I was saying, I was actually, yeah, in a really good role at a startup company. And my boss said to me, if you applied as much time and effort into your job as you do with your health and fitness, you could be literally anywhere you wanted to be. And in my head, I was literally like, I don't want to. It doesn't light my fire. I don't love this. This is a job where I come in, I make money, and I go home, and that's literally it. And so that was, again, another major pivotal moment where I was like, this isn't it. This isn't what, like, I have so much more capacity. I have so much more that I want to do. I want
Are
to
you an
help
Aries? Are you an
people.
Aries? Are you an
I'm
Aries?
not. I'm a Gemini. Yeah,
Oh
I'm
my
a
God, I
Gemini.
know
Yeah.
Gemini. Oh, Jesus Christ. Gemini's. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
I
be
know Gemini.
worried.
No, I'm
Yeah.
worried. I'm scared. I'm very scared. I'm scared. But I got to say, Gemini's, all that exterior is just the
Yeah.
front to what that
We're
interior is like.
softies. I
Oh my
am.
God.
Oh
But
my God,
also, you
man.
guys are great. You guys, if it's like that movie where the guy goes, I need your help. I need to hurt somebody. And the
Yeah.
Gemini will
Oh, I've
say,
got your back.
what car are we taking?
Yeah,
That's the Gemini.
literally.
Yeah,
Nah.
That's a Gemini. I
Yeah,
know
I'm.
Gemini as well.
It's funny. People don't understand it, but I am probably the most affectionate person to
No,
those
no.
that mean something to me, and
Yeah.
yeah, I just choose who I show it to. That's all. So
No, Gemini's. My sister's a Gemini. That's why, and my
yeah,
son's a
yeah,
Gemini. Gemini.
we're good humans. We're good eggs.
Yeah, right. That's with that we could do that podcast B. We'll do that on the
Yeah. Okay.
second
Yeah.
podcast. We'll do
Yeah.
this the
Done.
Gemini thing then.
I love it.
No, so obviously, and then you thought applying it to health and fitness. Is that right?
Yeah, so I then I mean I've always worked 2 jobs. So at the time when I was working in corporate, I was also working at F45 as a group trainer. I decided to leave my corporate job. I stayed at F45 until I could find a management position in an actual gym. My plan was spend 12 months there, learn off the trainers. I always knew that I wanted to end up online. Then COVID hit. So I was literally forced into developing an online platform. And honestly, it was the best thing I ever fucking did, because I can tell you right now, if that didn't happen, I would still be probably managing that gym and not have the confidence to go online. So
Wow.
yeah, it's
So
my
good.
life. If you asked me 3 years ago if I would be here, I would have absolutely laughed in your face.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, it just seems like it's completely innate in you. But I guess sometimes you don't even know where you're going. I think you do,
Oh,
but you don't.
absolutely not.
I, t-
Yeah,
I
I mean,
tell.
I think you have a
Mm,
dream, right? Like you have a
mm,
goal,
mm,
but
mm, mm,
I have hit those goals, in different stages, and
mm,
it's almost a bit scary because you're like, where do I go from here? I never imagined I would even be at this level, and now I
mm,
have opportunity to progress further than that, and
mm.
that's like baffling. So it's,
Well,
yeah, crazy.
I think I said to Chris as well. I know where I want to be in 10 years. I just don't know exactly what tomorrow's move is. So
100%. Or
sometimes we
how
don't
you
even know.
get there.
Yeah. So sometimes you just got to go by that. Like what
That's it.
presents, you shake and move and whatever.
Yeah.
So comps, when did that start? So I'm noticing that was the ICN Pro in 2019. That wasn't your first
Yeah.
one. Was that your first one?
No, so that was my second show. So I had
Yeah. And I
2016, I
noticed,
won my
yeah,
bikini,
2016,
and
you
then I
won your
had three
bikini.
years off. I did the ICN show, the regional Victoria show, and then I did the international pro-am as
Okay.
well.
I
And I
noticed that
got my
you got
sports
first place in
pro.
sports. You got first
Yeah,
place in sport.
yeah.
I'm sorry to talk over you then. I didn't mean to. I
No, you're
apologize.
fine. You're fine.
But I'm just saying, and you were killing it. So all right. So you won the show in 2016.
Yep.
In 2019, I know she came first in sports. How'd you go
Yep.
the rest of the shows? What were you doing? Were you just winning everything? Were you just winning everything?
I was winning most of my divisions. Yeah,
Mm,
in the show that I won my sports model pro,
mhm.
I actually entered fitness as well, and I didn't even place. And there is a very, very good photo that I'll have to try and find for you of me receiving my participation medal off the podium. And the face is not it. When I tell you that I was not happy,
Yeah, that
like,
says it all.
yeah, that definitely says it all. So yeah, didn't place in fitness, but won my sports pro model. And then I kind of had every intention to move away from ICN. I always wanted to do WBFF. I just wanted to get a couple of shows under my belt first because I feel like WBFF again is that next level, and I was, a
Is
little bit
WB
scared to take that step.
is WBFF just next level because of the way you flick your hair? Is it?
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
the flicking of the hair bit.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Because I looked at it and like, does everyone have to stay like extra meters away from you girls when you're
Yeah,
flicking
yeah,
the hair?
yeah. Otherwise, you
Is
get
there
it in
like
the eye.
warnings? Is there like
Yeah.
warnings? Like we're about to
Stand
do the flicking
1.5
hair
meters
moment.
away.
Yeah, like everyone goes, wear these glasses and this shield.
Yeah,
We're about to have the flicking of the hair
basically.
moment.
I know there's a lot of hair flicks going on, but
My gosh.
I think the biggest thing with WBFF for me is like you can showcase your personality. It's not
It
everyone
is good. It is good.
everyone does their own thing, and you can really kind of show your own flair as well. So that's what I love about the
I think it
organization.
looks like a pageant
Yes.
slash sports and fitness and then
Well, it's
bodybuilding.
called World Beauty, Fitness and Fashion, so
Mm,
they do
mm,
incorporate all of that.
It's
Yeah, it's
great.
basically
It's very good.
it's modeled around, I guess, a runway show.
It looks
So
it. I tell you, I didn't. Me and Chris. I mean, I know about the shows. I wanted to compete. When I keep mentioning, I don't want to talk too much about myself. Every podcast talks
you're
about
okay.
me, but no one knew about the pole dancing studio I had.
No,
And I
well,
aspired
there
to
we
be a
go.
stripper as well. Then I've aspired to be a stripper. But that's so. Yeah, it does look like we were going to come to the show, me and Chris. We
Yeah,
wanted to come. We didn't know about it or know enough about it, but when I saw Friday night, you guys coming together, I thought, what the hell's going on here? It was like a meet and greet.
yeah.
You guys all glammed
It's a
up.
glitzy, glam, yeah. Registration night definitely goes off.
Yeah,
And
okay.
then the show itself is just such a production. Like they put so much effort into the actual show itself, and yeah, it's a really, really good experience for the competitors.
Okay. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt. Just excited to share. We've just launched our amazing protein powder. 3OG with 30 grams of protein. That's right, 30 grams of protein. Other great stuff like grass-fed, gut-friendly, and low in carbs. We've even got an amazing pre-workout that comes in 4 flavors called Pre-30G. Buy 1 protein powder and you get 20% off. Buy 2 protein powders and you get 30% off. And that also goes for our pre-workout, Pre-30G. Go to 3og.shop and get your protein powder or your pre-workout now. You have a reel, 1 reel, and it says food. And I'm going, this is going to be exciting. I want to see what Caitlyn eats. And all I see was a Hawaiian pizza.
Oh,
Is that it?
Look,
is that your diet?
probably. No, that's
you trying to trick
absolutely
everybody?
not my diet. I don't know
It's your
when
diet.
that's
Hey,
from.
just tell everyone
I don't
that.
know
Tell
when
everyone
you
that,
found
and you'll
that,
win. If you
but
tell everyone it's a Hawaiian
honestly,
pizza, no,
oh,
it is.
look,
It's in your highlights. It says food.
is that all it's in there? Yeah,
And I
look, my
pressed on
highlights
it, and I went.
are a little bit depressing.
And you
They
said you
need
did
some help, okay? I'm just taking on a social media manager now, so just give us a break, yeah?
Okay. Well, look, guys, if you want to win a comp and you're competing against Caitlyn, Hawaiian pizza.
That's
Hawaiian
the
pizza,
game changer.
That's a game changer, but we really know it's Caitlyn
Yeah,
to win, you know. But
absolutely
is that your favorite pizza, Hawaiian pizza, by the way?
No, actually, my favorite pizza would be margarita. I'm very boring with my food. I know.
Hey, you
Don't
pay
ask.
$19 for a margarita?
I know, but it's so good. Or like a garlic pizza. Delicious.
No. Do you have
Yeah.
anchovies on a pizza? You like anchovies on a pizza?
No, not you, girl. Sorry.
Oh, well, if I was you, I'd check your socials because you got Hawaiian pizza there.
Yeah, all right. Well, I told you, I'm just taking on a social media manager, so she'll help me with that. Yeah.
All right. Good luck with that because I've got
Thank
a social
you.
media manager named Chris, and I'm still wondering why we hired him. I feel slack now.
Poor
He's looking at me like
Chris.
saying, "Fuck you,
Poor
Steve."
Chris.
But anyway, it's true. All right. We're going to talk about a very sensitive topic now, okay? Because you said it's sensitive.
Okay.
But we're going to talk about the subject on freezing eggs.
Yeah.
Tell us more and why so sensitive. Why are you doing it?
Well, it's done. It's been done.
What's been done? So tell me. That's what I'm saying.
The egg freezing process has been done. So I basically froze my eggs at the start of last year, so 2022.
Yeah.
Now the reason I did that, I am a 34-year-old female. So I think that there's not enough education around what that means for female fertility. And I actually went through the process with one of my other friends who is 36. So she's 2 years older than me. And it was actually really hard for me to see because she didn't have the best results in the way of what they could harvest for her. And when you don't have a potential partner and you don't necessarily have the game plan to be having a baby in the next 2-3 years, you know, that chance for you to be able to do that naturally, it drops dramatically. And I don't think there's enough education around trying to give yourself a plan B and trying to give yourself a safety net. And so, that was what it was for me. It was a very expensive plan B safety net. But I decided to do 1 egg harvesting. I was lucky enough to get 19 eggs. You
mentioned harvesting and you got a good result. What does that mean? And you're doing it, I'm assuming, you're doing it because you're 34, you want to have kids, you don't have the ideal partner, and you just want to partner. Well, you don't have any partner. And I
guess it's a safety net for me. So you know, it depends. Like, let's just say, for example, I met my husband overseas while I'm in Vegas. Even if I met someone now, like, I need to get to know them. I need to spend time with them. I don't necessarily want to be rushing into having a child. And it's actually more so, which I found very interesting when I heard it. It's not so much about your first child. So I could potentially easily have a natural pregnancy up until I'm 36, 37. But if I then wanted to have a second child, my eggs, I lose them every single year. So you don't actually replenish your stock if that makes sense. So, you know, each and every year that chance for me to get pregnant naturally disintegrates. So I now have a backup, and it means I've got 19 mature eggs that I can potentially use to fertilize if I choose to, and if that's what I want to do. And again, like I said, just it's a safety net for me. It allows me to take a little bit of pressure off, and that's probably the biggest thing. I was so concerned about meeting someone and making sure that I was doing everything timely, and you know, getting married when I should be, and having babies when I should be. And to be completely honest with you, I said to myself I wouldn't compete after last year. I thought I was too old. I thought, you know, I couldn't continue to keep doing that in a way if I wanted to have a family. And so now I have that safety net, and I have the opportunity, if I choose to down the line, to be able to have a child potentially. And that's something that was important to me. So I was fortunate enough that I had the funds to be able to do that. And, you know, I got onto it early enough that I was able to have 19 mature eggs harvested. So basically the process is they pump you with some hormones so that you ovulate, and you ovulate to a max capacity. Then once you're at your peak of ovulation and the eggs are readily available, they basically suck them up with the tube, and they put them in a freezer, and Bob's your dad.
And why is it, besides the conversation being sensitive,
Yeah.
how do people feel about the freezing part? I felt like it was something about, is it right or wrong? I don't know. Like, that's what I'm trying to understand.
I think
it sounds right. I don't know.
From when it comes to the sensitive part, I think it's the fact that it doesn't get spoken about, and it's almost a little bit taboo for people to talk about fertility. Like, you know, you've got people who are undergoing IVF who you wouldn't have a clue, and that's because it's just such a sensitive topic when it comes to the fragility, I guess, of what happens in the process, and how much that actually means to people. And so I guess, yeah, when I talk about it being sensitive, it's a hard truth for people to hear sometimes. And that's why it was, you know, it was a big eye opener for me, getting 19 eggs and one of my best friends only getting 8. You know, I see how that really does create a lot more fragility in the fact that she only has 8 options, and when you unfreeze those eggs, you lose almost 50% of them. So then you've got 4 eggs. Do you know what I mean? So it's not that it's more sensitive in the fact that people are not aware of how important I think it is to be on top of your fertility and your hormone health, and what that means for people long term as well. We don't get taught enough about, you know, when you get your bloods checked, you should be getting your hormones checked as well. You should be getting your your levels of your fertility done as well. Like, just to be aware, to be able to understand what that means for you, and then you can make those decisions for yourself moving forward as well.
Yeah, I think that I've heard about it, and I know about, not personally about IVF, and not personally about the freezing part with my ex-wife, but I've got 2 kids, and you know, everybody thinks we're all the same, but once you have children, we're not the same, because because you can give up everything for a friend and give up everything for your parents. It's a whole different story giving up for your kids. You can give up for your pets, but giving up for kids is like, you can, you know, it's a big fucking deal. It's a big deal. But tell me something. Is it sad, the fact that, not that people don't get onto it, is it sad that they've made it too expensive? Is that also the case, or it's not that expensive?
No,
I'm just asking. I don't know.
It cost me about $8,000 to do.
Is that, would you call that expensive or not? I don't know. It's a lot of money,
from
man.
a healthcare perspective, 100%. I would say that's an expensive investment into my future. And that's how I have to look at it, because otherwise I would be extremely resentful. But yeah, it's hard. Like, I think, you know, the fact that I have to think about that, the fact that I have to spend the $8,000 to give myself just a safety net, that's hard. You know, there's a lot of people that don't have to do that, and that's their journey. But I do think they make it very, very difficult to access in the way of not everyone has $8,000 to spend on just being able to prevent,
Yeah, it's sad.
not
That's
having
kind of
a
it's
baby.
sad. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. It just seems sad that
There
might
should
be
be more help
inaccessible.
with it. 100%.
Maybe something you can do. Would
Maybe.
you consider like being a single parent? Is that the option as well in that, or it's not the option?
It's funny.
Usually?
A lot of people, when I did it, were saying to me, so are you going to do IVF and do it alone? And at one point, I considered it. But for me personally, and everyone's different, I see a family unit. I don't want to have a baby for the sake of having a baby. It's not about that for me. It's I want that family unit eventually, a partner to share that with and have the support. And not that I wouldn't have that as a single parent, because I have incredible friends and family, but that's just not how I see my life unfolding. And if it comes to that point where I don't have a partner, I don't think I would have children, to be honest.
Let me say to you, as a person that likes giving advice, well, when I was 26, 27, let's say, I already was investing towards having a family, and I already pictured that I was in a relationship with children and that it was coming in the near future. So the fact that you said you see that, I can only say to you, if that is in your vision, just like visualizing a ripped body, visualizing a holiday, if you're visualizing a family, you're going to have it. That's my advice to you.
Thank you.
So just
it's hard one for me because I think if you had asked me when I was 25, I would have been married with kids by now.
But the thing is,
it wasn't my time.
Yeah, but that's right. And to be honest, I'll tell you something. My sister, she had a kid. She had a kid late 30s, I think 40. My cousin, his wife's first baby was 40. I was at a party on the weekend, and this lady had 18-year-old kids, and I said, "Who's the 8-year-old?" She goes, "Oh, that was a happy mistake." And she said we had it at 40. So I'm letting you know that.
Look, there's absolutely no doubt that it can happen later in life. I absolutely agree with that. But I think there's also a part of me that I think if I got to 40 and I didn't have kids by that point, I'd be pretty content with the fact that it's probably not for me. And that's not the life I see myself living, bringing kids up and having 20-year-olds at 70. That's just not where I want to be. So it'll all just depend. I think it'll all depend on whether I meet someone and all that kind of stuff. And the good thing is, having done the egg freezing, I have allowed myself to take a little bit of pressure off that. And I'm not now, meeting people and going, oh, would you be a good dad? Because it doesn't matter for me right now. That's not my end goal. So it allows me to just be a little bit more fluid with my life.
Well, you did say your husband's in Vegas. So I look forward to talking to you. I look forward to podcast B when you say, this is my husband.
I'll bring him on board.
This is your husband. Wow, I can't believe it.
But I do quickly.
But like I said to you, you seem like a person that visualizes and sets herself up for that kind of success. If I'll say to you, you can think of money, you can think about your body, you can think about holidays, you can think about everything. If you really want that family thing, and because no one knows it's actually a bucket list tick off. No one knows it's actually a goal you set up. I never knew it was the biggest goal I ever achieved. But you don't know that we seem to put money, success, careers as that goal. But you seemed like, to me, it's kind of you feel it. If you're feeling it and you know it, I promise you, I look forward to meeting your husband in the next podcast.
Thank you. I can't wait.
Me either.
Lovely.
I hope he's lovely too. I hope so. Hopefully he's not Italian.
Oh dear.
There's a joke about the Italian. Sorry about that. We don't want to go there because we want Italians to buy the protein powder we're about to launch. Anyway, that's so tell us let's talk about the WBFF Australia show firstly. Getting you mentally and physically there. How was that? How long did it take? How was that journey to that show?
was a totally different prep to my last prep,
Okay.
in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
Last year I did the November show, and it was the hardest year personally for me
Mhm.
ever. And that
What
prep
go
served a purpose.
that prep in late December, yeah?
Yeah,
Yep.
late last year. Yeah,
Yep.
that prep
Yep.
served a purpose for what I needed it to, and that was to try and refocus on myself. And
Mhm.
we got up there. I came third in figure, and that was a sting for me. But it gave
Oh,
me the
coming
drive to
third
come
gave you a
back.
sting. Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
worse than me. You're a
I
bad
am.
loser,
I'm
man.
pretty
You're a
bad
bad
like
loser.
that. Yeah.
Bad loser. Sore loser,
No,
Chris.
look, I think it needed to happen. I
Yeah.
needed to know where I sat in the organization, and
Mhm.
I'd never done a WBFF show before, so it was a really good learning experience for me as well.
Mhm.
And it just gave me that drive to want to come back bigger and better, and make sure that this show I was undeniable, and that there was no way I was not walking away without a pro card.
Wow. That's
So
amazing.
that's what we did. We had a 25-week prep. And yeah, I moved states last year to the Sunshine Coast. I've recently moved to the Gold Coast, and that has been game changer for me as well. I'm so happy with where I live, and everything just feels so aligned for me at the moment, which is, it's unreal. It feels like it's all unfolding exactly how I imagined it would.
No, that was it. Yeah, you look amazing, I gotta say.
Thank you.
Like,
Thank you.
yeah, you look amazing. I tell you what, that
Yeah.
some of the bikinis you girls wear, I sometimes believe it's. Are
Oh man.
you sure you're not playing for the role in Wonder Woman or something? I don't
Wait
know.
till you see my world's
Oh,
bikini.
wow.
Wait till you see
Jesus
it.
Christ. Some of the bikinis, I tell
Yeah.
you what. It's like, I know I've seen I saw the IFBB, and I've seen a few other
Yeah.
things, but I think there's an extra diamante or two or extra flare or
Oh,
something. What's
I'll tell
going on
you,
with you
fair
girls? I
few.
think I'm
Yeah,
waiting
so they're
for
basically called couture bikinis. So they're like
couture.
custom designed,
Wow,
which is the
couture
fashion side
bikinis.
of WBFF. So
Mm,
yeah, so my
massive.
world's bikini has been made by an incredible designer, Stepanka Anderson, and
What?
she
So it's custom.
has,
It's so you get people,
yeah,
designers to do your
she's
bikinis.
designed it for me, and then she's made it,
Jesus
and then
Christ.
she's also created my theme wear for the show as well. So that's something that I can travel with, and it's compact, but it'll make a nice little yeah, a really big kind of statement as well. So I'm
Wow.
excited. It's going to be,
Wow.
how people spend a lot of money on their wedding dresses. Well, WBFF girls spend a lot of money on their bikinis.
So they spend a lot of money on their bikinis, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, then they can use their bikinis as a wedding dress as well, then I guess. Why
Absolutely. I
not?
don't know
I
how
mean,
happy my dad would
straight.
be, but hey, if I get married in Vegas, I might just do that.
Look, if your dad will dress up like Elvis in Vegas and take you down the aisle in your bikini, you're all right. Everything's perfect.
I wouldn't put it past him, but
Oh,
unfortunately, he won't be in Vegas, so
okay,
that will
well,
just have to wait.
it's all right. We'll get your dad to rock up looking like Mr. Physique.
Yeah, we'll get him
It
in his
seems.
kilt.
Tell me something first. Is there any guys? There's a guy competing at this WBFF. Is that right? Yes.
Yeah, there's
Well,
a
yeah.
men's division. Yeah.
But the fuck, you guys are thrown to one side. There's no such thing. Like,
Oh
who are these
man,
guys? It's all women,
it's
isn't it?
funny
There's
because
no guys.
WBFF, I feel like, is, heavily focused on the females. I think because of the fashion side of
Mm,
things.
mm, mm, mm,
Whereas I feel like if you're a male, the IFBB kind of federation is more, it's perceived as more bodybuilding as well, I think. So
mm, mm,
yeah, you do find that the female divisions in WBFF are definitely tenfold
mm,
compared to the
mm.
dudes.
Okay, okay. And so tell us
Yeah.
about the actual show, the WBF shows, the glitz, the glamour, that flicking of that
It's
hair. I mean,
yeah,
when we say you going in with your personality,
yeah.
like you've got to. I mean, I guess you've got to accentuate it. I guess is that right?
100%.
Like,
Yeah, like
yeah.
it's a showcase, right? Like
Mm,
I think it's the best of both worlds with bodybuilding. You work really, really hard through your prep, you get yourself into an amazing shape, and then you get to
mhm,
actually showcase your physique on stage.
mhm,
And
mhm,
that's not only through your whole presentation, your hair, your makeup, your bikini, your flair with your posing,
mhm.
but you actually, yeah, get to actually stand on that stage and showcase everything you've been working hard for however long you've been prepping for. So for me, it's just the combination of everything together. And you know, I wasn't working necessarily with a posing coach for the last show. And I have just invested in a posing coach for Worlds, because Worlds itself is, again, another level on top of the Australian shows, just in the way of, I guess, their expectation with posing and the amount of sass and flair that you can actually bring to that stage. So, yeah, my whole routine has changed for Worlds, and there's a lot for me to remember, but we are looking to bring a whole nother kind of package to this
So
one.
besides training, you've got to learn a routine on how to be sassy.
Absolutely.
Extra sassy.
Man, you should have seen me. I was
I
Bambi
could do
at
it
the
anyway.
start.
I just come in
Like,
with attitude.
oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think if you've got natural attitude, it's kind of easy, right? Like, you just got to learn the steps.
I mean, yeah, but like I said, you actually got to practice that. Like, it's like, I guess you got to be fluid and ever flowing, but you kind of got to know, I'm about to do this and this next. I've got to.
That's right.
Put on
and the hard part as well is, right, like, every pose is chosen with an intention. So whilst the pose is chosen for, you know, the sass and the flair and the flow and all that kind of stuff, you also have to think, well, what shows my quads best? What shows my glutes best? What position do I need to be into? Yeah, like, there's a lot that goes into it. It's full on.
It is full on. I mean,
yeah.
Now that I think about it, like, you've got to put on a show for your glutes. I mean, oh my God.
It's crazy.
You know what? It is. Well, this is what the podcast is about. It's about delving deep into, we call it by the people, for the people. And
I love it.
And at the same time, our podcast isn't about, it's all bodybuilding. Like, someone said, someone said to me, I'm in a different lane. I'm a full-time bodybuilder. I said, buddy, this is all bodybuilding. But the thing is, you believe it's 5 chickens a day and picking up 300 kilos. We're talking about going deep and telling people that there's attitude, there's mind, there's soul, there's darkness, there's 5 o'clock get-ups that you don't want to get up for, and there's all that. So there's so much in bodybuilding to me that I don't think anyone's ever explained the sport clearly. I think and I'm hoping our podcast and our style does that for bodybuilding, and brings people in to not only train, but I've never had a personal trainer, but I think God, we need it, because we make so many mistakes so fast. So 100%. I'm hoping that our business helps your business and makes everyone get the business. Does that make sense? So, like I said, I hope.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I really appreciate you having me on board as well.
Yeah, no, we are the lucky ones. Me and Chris are so lucky. So tell us. We're nearly towards this training now. We're not far from there. Tell us the emotion when you knew at the show that you were close. You felt like, I got this. Like,
oh man,
when did you know? Did you know, or you didn't know, or you go, I got it. I think I'm there.
I think I entered that show with a lot of confidence in myself and the package that I was bringing. Again, that word undeniable, I literally repeated that to myself over and over through my prep. Like, that was my end goal every single time, was just to be undeniable on that stage.
So you were the Conor McGregor that you're not here to take part, you're here to take over.
That's it. Yeah. So like, I knew I'd have some competition. There was a moment where I actually thought I might be on stage by myself, and that was hard to process, because I'm competitive, right? Like, I want to stand next to someone. I want to stand and make sure that I know that I did bring my best for that day, and that I was chosen because I was the best on stage. Being that there was only 2 of us in the figure division, I had a 50-50 chance, right? And I knew that Alexia, who was standing next to me, is an absolutely beautiful girl. She's stunning. She brought an incredible package, but it was her first ever show, like, in general. And I know from the criteria, I was probably a little bit more conditioned than she was. And so that kind of gave me the confidence to think that I might have that. And I also knew that she was doing fitness as well, and that she was probably a little bit more fitness than she was figure in that show. So they would look to probably reward her more in fitness. So yeah, like it gets me kind of emotional thinking about the actual moment when they called my name.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I think I was quite confident that I showed my best on the day, and that was going to be enough.
Well, I haven't really seen the show, but just listening to you, I'm pretty proud of you. So well done.
Thank you. I
It's
appreciate
amazing.
that.
Yeah, it's like a sister. Because
Yeah.
I got a Gemini sister, so I kind of get
Yep. See, look, we're the
Look,
good ones.
well, that's a podcast in itself.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. So did you drink the champagne you popped?
I didn't. So
You
that
didn't?
video,
Oh,
that video was
yeah. I thought I
actually
was hoping you
from
did.
it was from one of my team shoots that I did.
Oh.
That would have been earlier in the year, but I didn't even drink it then because I was still on prep too. So when I'm on, and I knew the job wasn't done. So after my show, I got my grilled burger. I was happy with that, and then we were back
Grilled
on
burger?
for
What do you mean? You got your grilled burger? What's a grilled
yeah,
burger?
grilled. You know, grilled the burgers.
The grills, you know the grills burger, Chris?
Grilled.
Yeah. We're gonna bring out a burger, you know.
Yeah.
Serious. Do you know we got a song
nice.
as well? We got a song.
There you
I know we got a song.
Okay.
And we're trying to upload it somewhat. And
I love it.
we're gonna do our own burger.
Yeah,
Honestly,
cool.
is it gonna be a 3AG burger or a Muscle Talks burger? Both burgers. My God, Chris is like he talks a lot though. Chris talks a lot. We're gonna just get the burger done.
Well, yeah, I enjoyed my burger after the show.
Wow,
I had a lunch with my team the next day, and then I was back on the job for Worlds. So, yeah.
Okay, so talking about Worlds
champagne.
now. Oh, Jesus Christ! It looked like you did. Looked like you had it. Maybe thirsty.
That wasn't it. Sorry.
So what's all the emotion, training, food, attitude now? Since that show to now, what's changed? Pre-Sydney show, what have you tweaked? What's going down? Are you more eye the tiger? Are you walking around like Conor McGregor? Are you like saying, "Fuck you, man"? Who the fuck is that girl? Who the fuck is that girl?
No, not at all.
You're
really.
not. Oh, okay.
I mean, look, not much has changed for me in the way that, yes, I've become a pro, but that doesn't change how I feel about my training or anything like that. I think, if anything, it just is a confirmation that I am the athlete that I want to be. And for this show, it's been a hard one, right? So, I mean, I'm heading into my pro debut. I've only had 4 weeks between the 2 shows. So there's not a lot of improvements that I can make in the way of muscle growth or anything like that. So knowing I'm stepping on a pro stage with women that are literally the best in the world, that's been a hard pill for me to swallow, because I know that this show itself is more so about me showing my face and working out where I sit in that lineup so that I can then make the improvements for my next show. I still want to make a mark. I still want people to know who I am. I still want to make sure that my name gets out there. And
so is it too much for me to believe or say to you, like, just go win it?
Oh, look, that's my aim. I will always go into something.
That's all I want to hear.
Don't you ever worry about that. I am
okay, good.
never
I don't want to worry because I was going to have
sleepless
nights knowing that Caitlyn's
man.
Take over, man. We're here to take over.
Yeah,
we're not here to take part.
I will be bringing my absolute best, and I think the biggest thing is just, making sure that I know that I deserve to be there, and I prove that as well. So,
well, when you think otherwise, you can say that fucking motherfucker Steve. I can't let him down. I can't let Steve down. Don't worry about everyone else.
Can't let Steve down, guys.
Don't let Steve down, man. Steve's a sore loser.
Here for the crown.
Here for the crown. And make sure in the speech you scream out, Steve.
Absolutely.
I did it, Steve.
I did it, Steve.
I did it, Steve. Now, where's that champagne he wants me to drink?
Yeah, now I can drink the champagne.
Now I can drink the champagne. Okay, so are you nervous? And I asked the question, are you expecting to win, which you've answered all that, but are you nervous? Let's go just with that. Are you nervous?
I am nervous because I think it's a whole new ball game, going into Worlds, because it's a totally new show. It's international. 2, it's my first ever pro show. So that's another level in itself. And 3, I think I know what I'm kind of stepping into as well, because it's obviously a lot more known who you're up against and your competitors. And, I'm standing on stage with a 3-time world champion, Asha Coulthard. Like, Yeah, man. Like it's
What was the
crazy
name?
to
What was the
me.
name?
Asha Coulthard.
Asha Coulter. Remember that, guys? So we could look her up. Go.
It's crazy to me that I even had that opportunity. So whilst I'm nervous, I'm
Mm.
super excited as well. Like I'm so keen to just get up there and showcase what I've been working on and, you know, see where I sit in that lineup and hopefully we can really bring back some good results.
Okay. No, I think you're gonna win.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna go through the body now. All right.
Yep.
So this is the bit where people are sitting now thinking, okay, it's not Hawaiian pizza.
No, it's not Hawaiian pizza.
This podcast is not about Hawaiian pizza, and people are going to want to know how you train certain body parts.
Yep.
So let's start with, and I'm going to go through the whole body. So
Okay.
if I bring up something, if you don't train it, you don't train it. That's okay.
Yes. Yeah,
But picture this: we're asking you, but it's like me being a first timer, and what first timers do is usually do everything in the gym at once.
Yeah.
So we're going to go for the body. So traps. Do you train traps?
No, I do not train traps. I have
Okay.
a lot of trap, but I do not train traps.
Okay, well, that's okay. Most don't. And
Yeah.
actually, this was my first week. I never trained them. So there you go.
Yeah, love it.
What about delts? Let's go with rear delts.
Rear delts. I recently came into like a lat pull down rear delts situation that I really liked, but I also like a single arm cable crossover for a rear delt.
How many sets? How many reps?
I'm generally like a 3x12 kind of girl.
3x12. Yeah, you're the first three. You're the first one that, because I'm usually a 3x10, 3x12 kind of guy.
Yeah,
so
10 to 12.
Most people, so many numbers. Okay, and I'm going to keep asking that same question. You're probably going to say the same answer. So we'll keep going because we chop it up at times for social media. So,
cool.
Mid delts.
Good question.
Oh, look, yeah.
Like I do love just a lateral raise and the different variations in, you know, whatever delt is on top. That's where I'm training it. So yeah, I just would play around with different positioning with lat raises, to be completely honest with you.
How many sets, reps?
Again, probably 3x10 to 12.
Is that same with front delts? We're talking about the same thing with front delts, or you got something
front delts different? I'd go a front raise. Yeah.
Front raises? That's a bit old school, the front raises. Old school.
I love a single arm dumbbell front raise.
Wow, that's old school, you know. That's been going on since the 90s. That's the 90s, mate. That's the 90s. You are well, not that old, but you are an old school bodybuilder. That's true.
Yeah.
Right, what about chest?
Look, to be honest, I don't ever do a flat bench press. I just don't. I would do an incline dumbbell press.
How many sets, reps?
Generally, I would prefer to work a more strength base, so like 6 to 8 reps, 3 sets still.
And since we're going to go just back for a moment because I don't want to miss anything, the front raises, how many sets, how many reps for delts?
I'd still focus probably more 12 to 15 reps, 3 sets.
Okay. Wow. Okay. It's a bit lighter than the side rear ones.
Yeah.
And your chest. Yep. I get. Okay. What about bicep?
Love an incline bicep curl or just a straight up hammer curl.
I did those last night, both of them.
Yeah, alternating hammer curls are a vibe.
Yeah, I did the sit down incline.
Yeah, the inclines.
Curls, and then I did a hammer curl. So there you go. I'm ready to compete. What about how many sets, reps of that? 10
to 12 each arm for a hammer curl, and probably the same, about 8 to 10, 10 to 12, depending on how heavy I'm going with the incline.
So 3 sets on each? Is
3
that right?
sets, yeah. Yep, I'm generally a 3-set girl.
That's all right. Okay, you're a 3-set girl. Okay, and you're not a stripper as a pole dancer. We know that. We've worked that out. And you don't have Hawaiian pizzas and just.
I don't. Nah, it's only in my
head. Tricep.
Cable push down, probably with the rope. Although I've been using the old school tricep push down plate weighted machine lately, and I'm really enjoying that too. I do, again, 3 sets of 10 to 12.
Whatever happened to this one? No one seems to do that.
Nah, I'm not about that.
Why not? What's wrong with that? That's such a great 90s move.
Nah, I'm not.
Probably
about
80s
it.
as well. Probably 80s.
Probably.
All right. What about because I sometimes forget to bring this up. Do you train forearms?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. Abs.
There's a very cool ab machine that I enjoy at Ashmore World Gym. It brings your legs up and your arms, which is pretty sick. But otherwise, I love an ab wheel rollout.
The ab wheel rollout.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
that's
my
pretty good.
vibe.
Okay, how many? Well, you're the only one that said it. That's got to be your vibe.
So I
How many
would
sets,
normally
reps?
do ab wheel rollout 20 reps, and I'd probably go 3 to 4 sets. And with the machine, I generally would try for 15 reps, 3 sets.
Okay, good. Right, quads. You got some good quads on you. Go on.
Quads.
Yeah, quads.
Yeah, I got some
What's-
not bad quads.
Yeah, not bad.
I'm gonna say leg extension. It's
Leg
probably
extension.
my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, how many sets, reps?
Again, probably 3 by 10 to 12. Again, it all just depends on the load, but yeah, that's my, like, in a prep, that's my general kind of structure, 3 by 10 to 12.
Okay. Hammies?
Hammies, I would say I prefer a lying leg curl. I
God.
don't
Go on. Yeah, line code.
I don't mind a single leg standing, but I probably
no one's
prefer.
mentioned that. And they're 90s
Yeah.
moves too. They're
Yeah,
90s moves too.
See?
Yeah.
I got
like
you.
it. Well, yeah, you got my back, literally.
That's it.
But it is, the lying one, yeah, and
Yeah.
that's all they had back then.
Yeah.
They didn't have the seated machines that they have
I'm
now.
not about the seated, to be completely honest with
wow.
you, but
How many
but
sets
yeah, and
and
I
reps?
would go 3 by 10 to 12.
Oh, nice. All right, calves.
Calves, I never used to train, and I do have some good calves, I'll be honest, but I feel like wearing your heels is prime there. But now I just do
Chris,
the
you gotta wear heels if you want
standing
calves, you gotta wear heels.
standing calf raise.
Chris is getting the heels out of the cupboard now.
Yeah, no, do it. Honestly, the higher the better. 6 inch
The higher the better.
or above.
What is 16? What?
6 inch or more.
6 inch, Chris.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. 6
Yeah.
inch. Okay. But anyway, what do we do for calves besides wearing high heels?
Standing calf raise.
Standing calf raise, sets, reps.
Yeah. 3 by 12 to 15.
All right. What about tibialis?
Tibialis.
That's the front of the calf.
Does anyone train that? Does anyone train that?
I trained it.
Well, I'll tell you.
But I'll tell you what, no one trains it. That's the truth.
No,
because there's no machine for it, and
you'll notice in my check-ins and stuff like that, I have very, very prominent shin muscles. Sorry, It's because I had surgery. I had compartment syndrome, an anterior compartment syndrome, where I had to have bilateral decompression on my legs. So they opened up my fascia in my shin. So anything I do with calves is really hard for me because it flares that up. So yeah, no, I definitely do not train my tibialis.
I've got to write this down for that question, whatever that. What did you have done before? What was that?
I had a bilateral decompression of the anterior shin.
I don't know what I said. Bilateral what?
Bilateral decompression.
Decompression what? Yeah, go on.
Of the anterior shin.
I've got to bring this up next time, not now though. Interior.
So the reason why I had that is because I had compartment syndrome.
What's compartment syndrome?
It's like the muscular version of shin splints.
Oh, that shin splints when you sprint and it kills.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Well, this one is even worse.
Makes you feel like your feet fell off your legs. Your feet.
Yeah. Basically, yeah.
Sorry to hear that. All right. Well, I guess we don't have to bring that up. Gluteus maximus.
It's a good one, but I'm gonna say I'm enjoying my kickbacks at the moment.
Kickbacks.
But also a step up, dumbbell assisted step up.
All right. So how many reps and sets for those?
3 sets, 10 to 12 each side.
Oh, wow, 3 sets, 10 to 12. Now, Caitlyn, where can everyone find you? Tell us your social media. Is there a website? Have you got sponsors? Whatever it is, this is your time to tell everyone how they find you.
Amazing. I have got a website. I've actually just launched a new app and a new website. So you can find me at coached by Caitlyn, CAITLYN.com.au. And my Instagram handle, where I am most frequently on, is Caitlyn McGuinness _ WBFF Pro.
Well, Caitlin, we've come to the end of part A.
Amazing.
Obviously, this is season 2, episode 10, part A.
Wow, 10's my favorite number.
Oh, well, you're number 10 for us so
There
far.
we go.
With season 2, that is. We've done a few with
Amazing.
season 1, but season 2 is the whole new kettle of fish. It's the best of the best. This is the best of the best.
Perfect. Well,
So-
thank you for having me on board.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk to you. I think we've booked in for. Have we booked in for?
Yeah, we
When-
have. When
When
I'm
have we
back.
booked in? You when you're
August
back.
27th, I think it was.
Something
maybe?
like that, but I can't wait
Yeah.
to do part B to find out. And
I'm
also, you
excited.
introduced me to your husband.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's
Can't
gonna be
wait.
amazing.
It's going to be great. What an
It's
episode.
gonna be great. Well, I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
And on behalf of myself and the Muscle Talks team, which is just me and Chris at the moment, we just want to say don't take part, take over.
Amazing. I plan to. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.